still fighting the storm. Hearts full of pain, but we're trying to transform. Mental health matters, can push it aside. We're more than survivors, we're meant to rise. Give us the care, not just the blame, cause healing begins when you call it by name. Stop the bullying, don't look away. Stop being silent, just speak up today. We're still breathing, fighting the storm and trying to transform. Fighting the storm and trying to transform. Fighting the storm and trying to transform. Fighting the storm and trying to transform.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Making Change Requires Everyone. I'm your host Shandelle, and with me today are my two co-hosts Emily and Sharon.
We're excited about today's topic because it's something that nearly everyone can relate to, especially people from underrepresented communities.
Today we're talking about stereotypes, what they are, how they shape our lives, and what it really means to live beyond the label. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to dive in because this is something that needs to be talked about.
I couldn't agree more. So first of all, what are stereotypes?
Basically, stereotypes are oversimplified ideas about groups of people, ideas that come from misconceptions, fear, or ignorance. Like, for example, assuming that someone will be good or bad at something based on their age, race, or gender.
That's right. And if it wasn't already bad enough to be judged on things you can't control, stereotypes can have a much deeper impact on how you're treated at school, work, and even just walking down the street.
In Quebec, a recent study found that 83% of young black people reported being stereotyped at least once in their lives. And this discrimination doesn't just happen in private spaces. 66% of these young people said they experience unfair treatment within public service like health, education, justice, or transportation.
Wow, you can't ignore those numbers. And they show how stereotypes aren't just words. They show up every day in real interactions and experiences.
If so many people report being stereotyped, what are the real impacts it has on them?
Okay, to really understand that we have to go a little deeper, so let's break it down. Stereotypes often begin forming in childhood. For a lot of racialized youth here in Montreal, it starts as early as elementary school when they are labeled, for example, loud or disruptive compared to their classmates. These labels follow them into high school and can shape how teachers, mentors, or even peers sees them.
And it's not just in schools, it's in public places too, like being followed around in stores or being questioned by security for no reason. Sometimes you don't even realize how deep it goes until you notice you're changing your behavior to seem less threatening.
Right. And here's the thing, when stereotypes are repeated so many times, people begin to internalize them. And some youth may stop aiming high because people like them don't get those opportunities. But at the same time, some feel constant pressure to prove themselves just to break out of the box they were put in.
Yes, and all of this creates real stress. Studies across Canada show that discrimination and racialized profiling lead to higher levels of anxiety, depression, and burnout among racialized youth. Imagine trying to develop your identity while constantly feeling watched and misunderstood.
What's wild is that even positive stereotypes can be harmful. For example, they make it seem like black youth should fit into certain roles like sports or entertainment, instead of being seen as full human beings with talents in science, art, business, leadership, anything.
Absolutely. And that's why this conversation is so important, because stereotypes don't define anyone, but they can impact someone's mental health, their confidence, and even their physical safety.
Alright, so let's bring things a little closer to home. I think it would be helpful to personalize this if we each give an example of stereotyping, positive or negative, that we've experienced or witnessed and what it impact on us.
So I'll start first. So before I get into the experience, I think it's good to know a little bit about myself. So I'm the type of person that usually, again, likes to think positively of people. And so because of that, a lot of my experiences, I think I can like section it off because of that. And even this experience that I'm about to talk about, I don't ascribe necessarily any sort of like negative or racist attitude towards the person, but I still think it's important to note. So I remember one time there was this store that we all used to go to, my friends, that is, after school, not necessarily after school, it could also be during dinner, but we'd go there to basically buy food and stuff. And so we basically came there a lot, right? So one time we went there, we entered into the store. I went to the back of the store while my friends was browsing, and I picked up one of the items. I looked at it. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to buy it or not. I decided against it, and so I put the item down. And as we were getting ready to leave, the store manager came to me, and then the first thing he said is, "You stole something." And I was like, well, "What do you mean I stole something?" Right? And so basically, I was very confused because I was like, "I didn't steal anything." And then the guy then said, "I mean, check your pockets," right? So, I checked my pockets, there's nothing. And so he said to me, "Well, we have you on camera, right? We have you on camera stealing." I was very confused because I didn't steal anything. So it's like, okay, well, show me the camera evidence. And he decided against doing it, but he said I should come back tomorrow and then he'll have the camera evidence. And so I was like, okay, let's get ready. I'm going tomorrow. We'll see if he actually has any sort of camera evidence. We go there, we enter into the store, and the store manager doesn't even acknowledge us. Like he doesn't look towards our direction. He doesn't mention what happened. And it's because, again, he has no evidence whatsoever. And so, again, it's very easy for me to ascribe, like, again, negative, and a little bit I do, but I'd like to think positively and say that maybe it was because, like, the camera didn't catch me putting it back or something of the sort. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's one of my experiences.
And one of my experiences for my race as a white girl, a lot of people stereotype us for not being able to cook and like cooking with like salt and pepper, or not having like being able to dance and stuff like that. And it's kind of annoying, but I kind of just have to like sit back and take it, really.
Well, I have an experience actually. There was this guy that I was talking to, and we were on a FaceTime together, I think, and he said something rather stereotypical. He's black. I'm black too, obviously. But he said that I was whitewashed. For saying, I don't know what he meant by that. He didn't really elaborate more on that, and I didn't want to ask him to elaborate more on that because I just didn't. But yeah, that was not cute.
Yeah, that's pretty disrespectful, honestly.
But anyways,
okay, so even right here in this room, it's clear that stereotypes show up in our everyday here in Montreal.
But don't worry though, because while a lot of this is out of your control, there are some things that everyone can do to protect yourself, like
realizing that the stereotype isn't about you, it's about their assumptions.
Setting boundaries when possible, even short statements, can interrupt a moment of prejudice.
talking to someone you trust, like a friend, mentor, or teacher.
Document repeated unfair treatment.
Build your identity outside of the stereotypes and realize firsthand that there is more to you.
Find supportive spaces or make your own.
Learn about stereotypes so you can name them.
Use your voice when you feel safe.
Lean on adults and systems that are meant to protect you.
And always take care of your mental well-being.
So if you think you're being stereotyped, play back this podcast and follow our tips to take back control.
And with that, we have reached the end of segment 1.
Thank you for tuning in, and remember, labels are stories that others write about you, but only you can write your life for yourself.
So until next time, and remember,
Making change requires everyone.